Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of So Tell Us Time. Today, we are excited to be with you guys. We are talking about client retention. We want to talk about how to effectively keep your clients. And there's a lot of reasons behind this. And Troy's going to get into it. We are coming up on the end of the year. It's been a little bit of a rough year for a lot of people. We've heard that. I mean, we service thousands of businesses in 33 countries around the world. And it is kind of the same across the board. People are feeling it. Consumers are kind of holding on to their money, and you've got them holding off on, services that they think, well, maybe I'll see what it's like in another 2, 3, 4 months, or, get through this election or get through the end of the year, or whatever that is. And so it's more important than ever to be able to retain clients. Everybody's always focused on the new client. We want to talk about retaining those existing clients, keeping them happy, and helping them giving them a voice. So Troy's going to go over all of that today. Troy, go ahead, jump in.
Yeah. So, first question is, why do we want to focus on retention versus just acquiring new customers, right? And so there's a couple of reasons why. First and foremost, look, there's a much lower cost to retain an existing customer than it is to acquire a new customer. It's always going to cost you more money to get a new customer than it is to keep your existing customers. Yep. Also, when you keep an existing customer and you get multiple jobs out of them, right? Meaning that there's not a one-time customer that you retained. It's a customer that's purchasing from you again, right? It gives you a higher ROI, or return on your investment, on that initial marketing effort that you made, right? So when you acquired that customer for the first time, you may have spent, who knows, maybe $100, $150 to acquire that customer. Mm-hmm. Well, every time you can keep them as a repeat customer, sell them more services, you're basically creating more profit off that same marketing cost. Yep. So your ROI goes up every single time when you're retaining those customers. The other thing is you get increased revenue through repeat business, right? Being able to get them to purchase from you multiple times and retaining them. You also have the ability to upsell them on other services and cross-sell them, on other services as well. So, being able to increase the revenue per client is also a great way to increase your profits, right? Because you're not having to spend money on acquiring that new customer. The other great thing about retaining your existing customers is you're more likely to get referrals from those clients that you have retained, meaning that you've built a level of trust with them. So they are more likely to refer you to their friends and family than a first-time new customer that you've only serviced them once, right? So that's the other thing too, is you can generate more referrals. And the other big thing too is loyalty. That's a real big part of it. Is the longer you can retain a customer, the more loyal that customer is going to be for you. And you guys have all seen that in your business, right? You get that one-time customer, you service them one time, and then boom, they're looking for the next, cheaper deal out there. And you just can't retain them because all they're looking for is, what's that?
The Groupon junkies.
Exactly, right? They don't care who you are. They just want the lowest price possible. Yes. But if you can keep the ones that aren't just price driven, they're going to be more and more loyal to you every single time you service them. So that's really important as well. Now, let's get to, how do you retain your clients? This is really important. There's several different ways and several different things that you need to do to make sure that you are retaining those clients. And like Trevor said, there's a lot going on right now in the world. And so retaining your clients is going to be more important than ever, because, if you're struggling, or if the cost to acquire a new customer continues to go up, because now everybody is fighting, trying to get those new customers. And I can tell you, and Trevor will attest, that we have businesses calling us, reaching out to us weekly, that are just saying like, oh man, I have never marketed my business before, but I need to start marketing now. Right? So what does that mean? That means more competition for you, right? that means more people are fighting over those new customers. So it becomes more important for you to retain the customers you have and do not let them go to one of your competitors. So how
Well,
do we
and
do? Yeah.
really quick too, I would say if you're questioning, oh man, uh, last year was better than this year. Like this is the first year I've ever, or, I've never had it be this bad before. The thing to understand, and one thing that we're talking about with our clients is it's the economy, right? You can't always factor in for the economy. And so that's something to understand is that, you can't compare now to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. There's different things going on. And it really, actually, the fact that we are having clients come to us, people come to us saying for the first time in 20 years, I've got to really step up. I've got to do marketing. For the first time in 20 years, my business isn't just referral based. And if you are a longtime listener of So Tell Us Time, then Troy and I are huge advocates of avenues of revenues, which means different avenues that bring in revenue to your business. But the fact again that people are coming in and being like, so we never advocate for, oh, just build a referral business. That's great. Referrals might be your most cost-effective way to generate new clients. But it shouldn't be your only way. But that really does speak to the state of the United States economy right now. And that is something to factor in and understand. And we have a moving company. We have lots of moving companies, but we have one in particular that, they base it off of how many moves, their numbers are based off how many moves were done that month. And one of the things that I had to tell them was, I was like, look, you can't just do that because the number of moves may stay the same or even increase, but the number of moves that people are paying a moving company to actually move them decreased. So you have to be paying attention to that as well. So just kind of putting it out there that like, if you're going, man, you're scratching your head, you're thinking, what's different? Well, I can tell you one thing to factor in is that, we're just in a weird spot where people are holding on to their money. And so that just might help some of these business owners out there that have kind of been scratching their heads going, man, last year was better than this year. Well, this year isn't last year. This year definitely isn't, 8 years ago, 6 years ago. So that's something that we're all watching and keeping track of, but it's something for the entrepreneur to understand that it's, there's sometimes things that we can't control. And so if you've never marketed before, well, heck, definitely this is the time to start doing it. But always have these different avenues of revenue.
Yeah, and I'm going to actually add on to that, Trevor. And this actually isn't even in the outline today, but you made me think of something else. Another issue that small businesses, especially service industry, is facing right now is not only the economy, but you have these large investment firms, right, that have gone through, and they've gone through this cycle where, they decided to come in and buy up houses and create tons of rental properties. And we saw what they did with the housing market, right? Driving prices up, making it hard for people to get a house, driving rent up and all those things. Well, now what those investment firms are doing is they're out there buying service industry and small businesses. And so, like, for example, we have for those that don't know, we're in Arizona, and the owner of the Phoenix Suns here in Arizona has an entire investment firm that he's created that is just buying up all of the pest control companies in Arizona. And there's other investment firms. We've had clients of ours that have actually been bought by these investment firms that are buying up all the HVAC companies in Arizona. And so what does that mean for the small business owner? It means that, your competitors, which were small business owners, are not small business owners anymore. Those companies are now being bought and run by large investment firms, which are
really smart.
Yeah.
How they're doing it. I mean,
when you really think about it, it actually is, because you have these businesses that, maybe they have a 20, 30% profit margin. Well, trying to get 20 to 30% in the stock market may not be as easy as it used to be, right? So they
Yeah.
go, well, where can I put my money and get 20 or 30%? Well, I can buy these businesses, right? And then I can consolidate the back office for all of these companies, maybe all of these
Yes.
pest control companies, so that I have one back office doing everything. And, and I can consolidate marketing and all of
Yep.
those costs.
And
So
here's the thing is people think, there's monopoly laws in place for exactly these reasons, but they're smart how they're doing it. They keep it under the entity. The entity doesn't change. In fact, a lot of times the business owner is paid to stay on for a certain period of years. So really they're creating these monopolies, conglomerates, but under the radar. And like you said, Troy, it's really, really smart. And what I kind of predict and see is that it's not going to crush. I mean, it will hurt some, but it's not going to crush everybody, because here's what's going to happen is a lot of times when you go too big, right? When you become too corporate, you lose touch with your consumer. In fact, I would say Facebook is a really good example, because our age group probably, right? Most people listening to us are on Facebook, right? And I mean, you think about the changes Facebook's made over the years and how annoying it's been, because they've lost touch. It's like, if you were to really look at your feed, your Facebook feed, you would say, man, all I see is like ads. And then I see like the same 4 or 5 people's posts. They have algorithms now. They used to just, I mean, if it was me, they used to just show your friends, right? Friends and family that you followed, you'd see all of that. Well, you rarely see that anymore. You're seeing ads and videos and all these things, So anyways, the point is they lose touch. So I'm going to say to all of my, because all of our listeners are entrepreneurs, the thing is, now is the time when these conglomerates are coming in and buying up. Okay. If you get bought up and you sell into that, okay, cool. Like, great for you. But it usually doesn't turn out great for the consumer, and it really doesn't turn out great for your fellow entrepreneurs. But now more than ever is the time to be making sure that your service is phenomenal. Your reputation is amazing. Your referral program is great. Your marketing is awesome. Like, yes, you may not be able to compete on a dollar for dollar level with these big corporations that are coming in and buying them up. But what you can do is you can keep and retain existing customers because you're phenomenal. You can gain new customers because you're phenomenal. Where they're going to fall short, you can succeed. And listen, Troy and I, we've built multiple businesses on this, where our competitors in our industries are huge, hundreds of millions of dollars invested. And yet we're right there in the top 3. Why? Because I let those 2 Goliaths battle it out against each other. And there is plenty that falls down and comes to us. And then our reputation grows, and then more and more people come and they start leaving these big Goliaths. I don't want to be involved in this. I don't, why are they so much more expensive? So anyways, it works. So don't get discouraged. And think about what you're building and decide, are you a sellout? No, just kidding. Not a sellout, just teasing.
All right. So let's talk about, and I love what you said, Trevor, because it goes right into how do you retain your existing clients, right? And then eventually with your reputation, you're going to take those clients away from those other companies. So here's a couple of ideas on how to retain your clients. And Trevor mentioned it, actually. You need to understand your clients, right? You need to build a reputation. You need to, make them look at you as you're the very best. So the best way to understand your clients is to get feedback from them. So how can you easily get feedback from your clients? Well, number one way to get feedback is reviews. And a lot of times we look at reviews and we go, oh man, like, do I send out a review invite to this person? Because I don't want to get a negative review, right? We're so scared to get a negative review because we don't want that to hurt our reputation. But at the same time, if there is a negative review, if we did something wrong, we need to know we did something wrong so that we can fix that going forward. Because guess what? If we just hide our head in the sand and just pretend like nothing's going wrong, we're going to not retain our existing clients. And again, we're not going to get any new clients because of that. So getting feedback is important, right? Getting those reviews. Another great way to do that is surveys. sending out surveys to your clients and just asking them. And it can be as simple as, I've seen some people that do these in like 20 question surveys. And it's like, oh, it's only going to take you 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Are you kidding me? Like, do you know how long that is in my day? I have so much I got to get done. So it could be literally as simple as like, hey, what is something that we did really great? And what is something that we can improve on? Right? Giving them the ability to tell you what you're awesome at, and then where do you need to improve? So a very simple 2-question survey would be all that you needed, right? To get enough feedback to tell you what you need to do better. Another way to do it is client calls. It's not a bad idea to have calls with, especially your top clients, your heavy users, your ideal clients, the ones that you want more of, to do a call with them and to learn more about why did you choose us, right? Why do you still utilize our service? What's the best thing about our service? What's something that we can improve, right? So client calls is another great way to do that. The next thing is, make sure that you are delivering consistent quality. And this is really important. So you've got to measure your quality. And again, that measuring your quality goes back to your reviews and surveys and client calls. You've got to have SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures in place and training in place so that it doesn't matter if Billy Bob goes over to their house or, Sarah goes to the house, they are going to get the same quality of service because you have the same SOPs and they've both been trained exactly the same, right? So that's really important to deliver that consistent quality. The next thing is building trust and transparency. And this is really important. This is one of the things that we really focus on, Trevor and I focus on when we first meet with a potential client, right? Is building trust and transparency with them. So that starts with clear communication, right? Making sure that you are communicating and communicating well with them, making sure that you are sharing updates, addressing issues, with them, so that they don't feel like they're in the dark, when it comes to your services or what you might be doing. And then another really big one is upfront and honest pricing. That is really, really important. One of the things that Trevor and I always do when we sit down with someone is we talk about why we do the bill or the pricing the way we do our pricing. We talk about why we don't do any contracts. We explain to them. We don't just say we don't do any contracts. We explain to them, this is why we don't do contracts. So that they understand why, what that means from us, right? And that really does help build trust because they go, wow, okay, now I know why these guys aren't charging a contract because they're very confident in their services and what they're going to produce for us, right? And having that honest and upfront pricing, so that they aren't getting hit with a lot of different fees at the end or, the old bait and switch. You can bait and switch somebody and you might make money right there that first time, but the odds of them becoming a repeat customer are pretty low, right? Because you started the relationship off with, not upfront and honest pricing with them. So think about that when it comes to building trust and transparency. The next thing is follow-ups and check-ins. This is really important. So personalized follow-up and check-ins show that you really care about not only your business, your reputation, but the client as well. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, I don't have time to be doing personalized follow-ups and check-ins with these clients. And that's okay, because guess what? Automation can feel personalized as well. So that's the thing. The great thing about it is you can utilize automation to check in and follow up. And then if they need something, if they respond, then you can personally respond back to what they said, right? So it's just a great way to initiate that follow-up and get the conversation going. And then you personalize it from that point forward.
Yep.
So, but again, follow-up and check-ins make a big difference. It shows the consumer, that you care. And the final thing we're going to talk about today is incentivize loyalty with your customers. So that means, do you have a loyalty program? Do you have a way for them that if they are loyal to you, if they are a repeat customer, that they are going to get, a bonus, a benefit, whatever that might be. One of the things that we do in our company is if you're an existing client, we have special discounts for you on all of our other services. So, there is a benefit for you being a client of ours. Another big thing is, do you have a referral program, right? Do you have a way to get them to refer their friends and family, but give them a benefit, for doing that for you? Because again, that benefit is going to be way cheaper than the cost of marketing and acquiring a new customer. So make sure that you're incentivizing your clients to be loyal to you. Anything you want to add, Trevor, before we hit the homework?
Well, I mean, that's really good. That covers a lot of it. I mean, again, the name of the game is to be able to retain your existing customers. I want to say, going back to the first thing you were talking about of retaining customers versus new customers, the last time I looked, it was like the stats can be as high as like 10 times. It costs you 10 times the amount of money to acquire a new customer as it does just keep an existing customer. So when you think about these things like loyalty programs, where it's like, if you're doing services, maybe every 12th service is free, or something like that, where you're keeping track and you're rewarding them for being loyal, good customers. That will cost you a lot less than it will to go out and gain new customers. And then when you talk about referral programs, obviously giving your existing customers something for referring new customers is a very cost-effective way to gain new customers. So guys, I love it. This is a really good one, especially in this time. People come to us, like Troy was saying, weekly. We are meeting with people who are multiple people. Like, we have to block times off just to be able to focus in and get things done, because we're meeting with so many people that are always so focused on the new customer. Okay, that's great. That's awesome. But one of the things we really help them do and push with them is focus on existing customers, like nurture campaigns and things like that. So that is it's a really important thing that we've been implementing a lot for customers lately, and it has made a big difference. So, because again, existing customers sometimes, especially like, let's say you're a spa service, right? You have spa treatments and things like that. You want to get these people back in the door. Well, a lot of times people are focused on getting new people in the door. Well, wait a minute, but we can get the existing ones back in the door, right? So making sure that you're thinking that way is really important. All right, guys, let's jump into the homework. Take at least one of these ideas that we have talked about today and get it implemented in your business this week. We don't have that many weeks left till the end of the year, and things move so fast. I mean, let me tell you, Troy and I feel your pain. We have quadrupled our company, by the way. And it is crazy how you think you get more people in, doesn't mean you just get more done. I mean, yes, your capacity to get things done does grow, but it's amazing how more things still get piled on Troy and I's plates, even though we have more support. And so don't always think that, oh, hey, it's the next person that is going to, if I just bring this person in, I'm going to have more time and energy and efforts, no. That's why Troy and I are always, every single week, giving you homework to implement that week. We feel your pain, because we'll be like, oh, this year or this quarter, or by the end of the, and it's like, all of a sudden, holy crap, it's the end of the year and we have not accomplished that item yet. So anything else, Troy?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, perfect, guys. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will check you guys out on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.